It's an absolute stunner of a morning up here at Bonsai Acres, where the temp is a nice 60 degrees. Now I mention this because we're on a 36-hour extreme heat advisory. This is one of those perfect examples of why it's great to have a property up north in Minnesota. In my town of Woodbury, where I live, it's 80 degrees already at 6 o'clock in the morning. Up here, 60 degrees. This is heaven. And so the best time to get work done is early in the morning. Temp's gonna get close to 90 again today with heat indexes in the triple digits. Hard to believe when it's 60 right now and pretty cool. The trees look fantastic. We did pull one out yesterday when I got here last night. We lost a red pine, but we are gonna lose a few along the way. I'm loving the growth of all the pines. We got a couple of willows alive and maples alive and jack pines alive. This is looking really, really good. But before the heat comes, we got some other work to do. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited. Now, before we get started today, there's a couple things to consider. Well, one, I gotta get some food in me. It's gonna be hotter than heck later on today, and the bugs are already bad because we have had so much rain in the last 36 to 48 hours in this neck of the woods, and there's more on the way. So the mosquitoes are bad. So I gotta spray up, gonna have a quick breakfast. While I do that though, I've got a big surprise for you because this is not the only building on the structure anymore. What? What you talking about, Dave? That's right. I have a home away from home. A big shout out to my friend Matt, who has lent me this for the summer. He's gonna let me kick the wheels, check out everything inside, you know, all the things you do when you test to drive something brand new. And he helped me put on the property a couple weeks ago. This is my first weekend in it. I slept in there last night and oh my gosh, fantastic. No more hammock tents. As cool as the hammock tent is, and I will be back in there for naps and those kind of things, this is phenomenal. But you know what? This cool weather is not gonna last forever, so we have to get started. So the plan for today is to get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Toby's gonna be here, and we have something else for you coming onto the property that's a big thing that's gonna just change the appearance of the property. But in order to do that and to use that piece of equipment, I've got to clean up some of the messes that we left in the last year or so, cutting down trees and chopping up future firewood and all the branches that are going to be put into the wood chipper at some point. So the work has to get started. And again, I got to start now when it's in the 60s because later on, whew, it's going to be another roaster. It's close to 8:30 and only about 67 degrees, but there is a stickiness to the air that, of course, when you're working out here, you're gonna build up a sweat. The wind is really nice though, keeping things cool. The first area has been cleared out with most of the brush from the down 2 trees we took down last summer. And I've got 2 big ones left. Now, I don't have Toby here to help me, but I'm gonna lift with my legs. I'm gonna give it a try. That one I can lift, that one's questionable, we'll see. Of course, I got my water bottle out in big force today. Plenty of water today. Super important, hydration, hydration, hydration. Gotta have a couple of these in my system today. Once we're done here, we're gonna go ahead and shift closer to the gated area. I gotta get all those pieces of lumber and from that down tree out of the way too, so we can get our work done on Monday. So let's see if we can get these things into the trailer and head off to our next location. Two down trees put away in a place where we can get at them when we need to, but not in our way for the work we're gonna do on Monday when Toby gets here. In just 24 short hours from now, we'll be cranking. So this is the pond area, and before it gets too hot, I wanna dig a little bit of dirt from here to put in the old trailer to bring to the culvert area. I wanna work on that a little bit. Now there's gonna be a lot of digging. It's probably a little after 9 o'clock, in the 70s for temps now. But not too bad. Let's scoop up some dirt and see if we can get a trailer load or two up to the culvert before it gets too hot. Drinking plenty of water, of course, because, woo! Yep, we're steaming up. So in the last hour or so, I managed to get 4 trailerfuls of dirt to put over the culvert that I'm working on. Let's take a peek at that right now. So I put a whole bunch of rocks there last time on this side. I added a few more on this side. Of course, now it looks like I should be 2 feet over that way. It's kind of narrow right in here. So I'm gonna have to fix that a little bit. But there is the driven over multiple times, about 5 times per trailer load, driving over with the 4-wheeler. So fairly smooth, but I'm liking how it's looking so far. This will be a second entrance or an exit to the property in no time. Now, before I can have cars go over here, I'm gonna bring in the gravel number 57 or whatever it is. It's the pre-level before the gravel. It's the real fine broken up pieces. And we're gonna tamp that down a good way down the driveway and a good way up the driveway here, and especially a nice mound right over here. And then that's gonna get another layer of protection and better drainage. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and order some of the 3/4 inch gravel, driveway gravel, and we'll put that along here as well. Now I got a quote for 50 feet for this driveway and 50 feet for that driveway. Now it's more like 100 and 100, but I'm just gonna get a truckload of each and use what I've got, because that's what I can afford this year. So the important part of this side will be the culvert. So I'll get about 20 feet past the culvert to 20 feet this way, so about 40 feet of 2 inches thick of both product. And then on the other driveway, I'll do a similar thing, and what I'll do is I'll patch up the low spots with some dirt this weekend if I can, and then when I get the underlayer, I'll put that and kind of tamp that down in as best I can. But that section of the driveway is probably a good 75 to 100 feet, and so yeah, it gets up there in price. But so far, that is on its way. It's coming up on 12 noon, and as you can see, I already have one change of clothing because of just all the work and the sweat, and it's not terribly hot yet. We're at 79 degrees and it feels like 82. So with a light breeze of 5 to 10 miles an hour, it feels really comfy here still. Of course, if you're working, you're still sweating. Now back home, it's 80 88 degrees and already feels like 96 there. So it's quite cooler here. I was thinking about going to the river, the Kettle River, and enjoying a nice, cool, relaxing middle of the day. However, the humidity, the dew point actually is going to be in the 70s in the 3 or 4-ish till about 6 or 7 o'clock time frame. Dew points of like 72, and that's just going to be really sticky. So even if we only get up to about 85, 86, 87 degrees, it'll be sticky, but not for several more hours. So if I'm really going to work, I probably should work now so I can avoid some of that stickiness, and I can be in the river during the stickiness, because we are taking a break today, y'all. Now, the next thing on my list to tackle is this conundrum. Now, everybody I've talked to has said, Dave, you got to get rid of that stuff. So for whatever reason, the grade of the garage here, the shed, the grade is not up to the grade board, which is behind this board. So there is some treated 2x6 boards back here, and they put this OSB particle board against that, and then attached to the OSB down below, there's this metal mesh, perhaps to keep critters out or something, but I can put my hand under there. You know, mice, voles, chipmunks, squirrels, and of course, somehow we've got Porter coming in here in the wintertime. Now, Porter hasn't been here all spring and summer, the porcupine that is, but this is ridiculous. And why did they put this OSB here instead of some more treated, and why is it even there? I think it's there just so they could attach this meshing on the outside and keep something out. So before Toby gets here and before we start putting any earth here, because that's one of the goals this weekend, I've got to do some tearing apart of this. But we got to start working hard at trying to tear out this OSB and figure out how we're going to patch this up. Although there were a couple of tricky spots along the way, the panels came off relatively easy. And a matter of fact, some of them were so rotted that I could just yank them off with my hands and not even worry about the drill. But this is underneath this. They put that up before they put up these shelves, and so I can't get at the any of the screws. Well, again, because it's rotted, that was way easier than I expected, and it came out in one entire piece. I'll take it. As I go along the floor, too, I'm finding all kinds of trash. There's a wasp nest, an old one, thank goodness. So all kinds of trash, little pieces of metal, little pieces of glass. I've even found some Crayola crayons in here, so there were kids up here at some point, or they just like to color. So I have the entire west wall and I have the entire north wall complete. Now, the only problem with the east wall is I got all kinds of crap on the side there. Starting tomorrow morning when the machinery gets here, we're gonna move some earth and get some earth in here so I'm not digging by hand. Well, that was a lot easier than I expected. So I got the whole pile in there. We're gonna go bring it over there to the fire pit. Probably not a bonfire tonight, it's just gonna be too hot. Or maybe, because it'll be kind of fun to see that go. But it's good wood for the next time. Well, I did it, y'all. I put the tools away. That's right, put the scissors down, put the tools away. It's time to have a little enjoyment up north. We go up north to go fishing, to hang out at the cabin. We go to have fun, campfires, water sports. We are the land of over, well, 14,000 lakes, although we always say 10,000. So I've got the kayak here with me this trip, and we're on the Kettle River today. The breeze is going pretty good, so I think we're gonna go upriver, and we're just gonna check it out. I'm not as familiar with this river as my own cabin river up in Brainerd, Minnesota, so I got the old life preserver on, although you should wear it all the time for safety. So let's jump in the kayak, let's take off and have a little relaxation on the river during our trip to Bonsai Acres. Now, upon closer inspection, instead of going upriver, I'm actually going downriver, although it doesn't look like it because the wind is so gusty out of the south. The topwater current is going this way, so I'm going against the wind now. That way on the way back, I can take a little rest and just kind of drift back down the river. Okay, upon my beautiful stroll on the Kettle River up near Carrick, my property, and Sandstone, right off of 35, Bannon State Park is around the corner. But when you're on a river, you want to see the beauty of nature and wild animals and the waters and the trees, and we don't want to see that. Now this is my GoPro, so it's kind of far away. That's a sofa, y'all. A white sofa that someone dumped in the river. That's obnoxious. Please don't be that person that does that to the riverways and the waterways, wherever you are. Decision time. I could have gone to the left. I'm deciding to go to the right. It's a little calmer at the moment, but let's see what's ahead of us. Never know what you're gonna get. Underneath all the trees, a little calmer. Just a little bit of a resting spot here. I didn't pack my water. I just went to the store to get more water and I left it in the vehicle. So I'm kind of thirsty and I don't have any water. Guess I'm not alone. I've been going south for quite a while. Came around this bend, a little calm spot here because the trees are blocking the wind now. And there's a orange sign up there. Warning, dangerous rapids next 2 miles. Maybe I should join the crew. It looks like they're having a lesson over there. So that must be Bannon State Park. Looks like there's a couple signs up there. And they're enjoying a kayak lesson. I'm not an experienced rapid guy. And so I think I'll just stay in the calm for a little while. Where will the wind take me next? Woohoo! I still wish I had my water. Something jumped behind me. I don't know if you heard that splash. Toby asked me if I was going to bring my fishing rod, and I said, you know, maybe next trip, because I knew I was going to want to get a couple things done, and tomorrow is going to be an all-day affair. I want to get on the water, but yeah, do I regret it? A little bit. But this will allow me to just sit here now and go where the wind takes me and just not worry about any of that stuff. Gotten a lot of comments on Bonsai Acres and my Dave's Bonsai over the last couple of years. Hardest working man in Bonsai. I'm trying to slow down and enjoy the journey. And I've talked to a few people in my life about balance. I've talked about it on the show as well. We really need a good amount of balance in our life to make things, I think, go smoothly and make sure we can get what we want and our loved ones and people we care about can get what they want, so no one's squeezed out. It's tough to find balance. I will say this though, I am more relaxed up here than anywhere else in my life right now. And that's a good feeling. Oh yeah. This is what I needed. Woo. Now when I walk, ride a bike, drive a car, I have a pretty good sense of direction and distance. When I've kayaked up a river, I have no idea how far I went. A mile? The drift back down has been really relaxing and Slower than I expected, but I think the winds have died a little bit. But this has just been heavenly. Skipping from rock to rock, Toby and I do on these rivers. There's a big one right there. That is pretty sweet. That's what I like to see on the river. And people think our bonsai look like contrived or forced sometimes. This is crazy. Inspiration for a new bonsai. This was fantastic, the Kettle River. Windy at first, I went downriver, it blew me back. This is fantastic. Time to go back and have some dinner. I'm feeling so refreshed. I was smart enough to pack a shirt, a dry shirt, but I can't find my towel for the seat of my car. So I packed a small hand towel. That'll have to do. Well, back at the property in a few. Okay. It's about 12:30 on Monday, and it's been a busy day already. Just before 8 o'clock, the machine was dropped off. There's like 5 ways to go on this thing. I mean, I can spin, I can go one way or the other way, both ways, toggle the bucket up, down, left, right. I'm already at 6 or 7 ways to move, but it's air conditioned. Really cool. It's like on a roller coaster when you're excited and then you get scared to death when you go downhill. That thing starts to shift one way or the other and like, I don't know what to do. First scoop.
I was gonna say, how do you get the arm to whoop?
I just figured it out right there.
There it is. First scoop.
First scoop. I didn't get very much. What happened? I lost all my dirt. That's a little better.
A little better. Oh, there you go.
Rocks in there.
Now that's a scoop of dirt.
All right.
Now that is a scoop of dirt. Now, Toby's still cranking away because someone had to come start lunch. So we haven't been on a road trip in 2 years now, and what we usually love to do is go camping. We've got some bubbling water ready to go, and today's menu, we're doing some good old backpackers food, dehydrated, and we're gonna have some pad thai. So the water's boiling, we're gonna get it in here, we're gonna have some lunch, and then we've got this machine till 5 o'clock, so there's no resting, well, except for lunch. So food in a little bit, and then we'll show you what we're doing to the earth. We've been working hard for many, many hours. The lunch has got to sit for 5 to 10 minutes in that water before we can start munching. So I thought I'd fill you in. The main reason for the excavator is to get dirt into the shed and to kind of rearrange the land a little bit for some of the future projects that I want to do. So we tested the excavator right in here. So here are the trees, and to the right, this is where I was digging by hand for a while. We just got about 3 or 4 trailerfuls of dirt from right here just to test out the equipment and see if we were gonna, kill ourselves. It's a pretty fun toy. Oh, and now look behind me. So we also attacked the hill. We put some dirt over there from here, and then we attacked the hill. Let's go over there and check that out. I wanted this hill from this part of the yard not to be so steep right here. So we almost, well, I shouldn't say steep. I just wanted to flatten this part out a little bit. So we got a nice job of flattening this out. Now, what am I gonna do with this area? Well, either down there between the pond and me, we might put a structure there or right here. And this is gonna be the Bonsai work structure. It's gonna be a 16 by 16 platform. Kind of a pergola style thing where we can get up to about 10 people comfortably up on top, looking out at the beautiful nature and working on bonsai trees. So whether it's gonna be there or here, that remains to be seen. But while we're playing with the earth, all of the loose dirt we brought into the shed so we can start to raise that up and actually make sure the critters stay out of there and it's safe from people crawling under there and taking my stuff. Now I'm walking up the trail to the fire pit and the back cabiny area that's gonna be the cabin and or the bathhouse. So let's see what's going on with Toby with this machine. I've already tried to flatten this out a little bit. Got a couple of bumps and bruises. We can fix that as well. And there he is. He's trying to flatten out the area back there with the big excavator. This thing is super sweet, super powerful. You gotta be safe. But wow, this is saving. That's gonna be the cabin, 12 wide by about 24 to 28 long. And so we just got it started just to loosen up the earth. And then as I loosened up the earth, well, of course, I brought that down to the shed so we'd have more earth there. So he's gonna smooth this out and come down this trail one more time. And then we're gonna do part 2 for today after lunch. Here's part 2 after the lunch. So you can see the stake over here, you can see the stake over there, and those two are a little more hidden inside the weeds and stuff over there. So the ferns are growing tall. These stakes represent the 16 by 16 bathhouse. So I'm in the bathhouse right now, and so we're gonna also move some dirt here. Again, just to kind of semi-level things off, or just get rid of the trees that are kind of the small, young 1, 2, 3-year-old trees. There's not too many in here, but we're gonna clean it up a little bit. And as we get more earth, of course, we're gonna bring it to the shed. So he's clearing out a little bit more dirt, making things a little bit more smooth back there. That area will be the cabin. So as he finishes that, I'm gonna go check on lunch and see if it's ready for us, because we do have to take a break. When we're working with heavy machinery, and it's not as hot today, the clouds have come over, that's helped us tremendously, but you gotta be super careful. So if you're renting something like this, make sure you're trained in being safe. We wanna make sure that your dreams come true and not get shattered. So let's go check lunch. Toby's gonna wrap that up, and we have part 2. We've got this thing till about 5 p.m. and we're coming up on 1 o'clock. So we got about 4 hours of work ahead of us. So it's after 2 o'clock on this beautiful Monday afternoon. The sun came back out and we're just cranking away still. Now, this is the first time in the entirety of me owning this place that I've actually seen the west side of the shed. So Toby shoved it all back. Now he's getting dirt from some of our work areas to just kind of fill in there. Because after I remove those boards from inside, we have 2 feet at the back corner above ground that we have to fill in. That's a lot of loads from Toby. We won't get it all today, but the more he puts in place today, the less digging I have to do by hand, because I'm not going to rent this thing for a while. So we're going to put a couple more loads of dirt there. He's going to shove it all back again, and we'll work from back to front, because that's just more distance to go, more work with the shovel, when I can bring the trailer on the back of the four-wheeler up to the side there, and that'll be manageable, although still a lot of work. New full-time job?
I guess so. Could be.
Now, as we walk inside the shed, you could see all the work we've done today. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We started at 8 o'clock. We have from the back to the front, halfway from left to right, only half. We have only 25% filled. I was hoping to fill half all the way to the door here, but that's okay. I've got to get the four-wheeler in here. This is a really good start. And all the things we did outside, I'm very pleased with. So, you know what? You take what you can get with an 8-hour rental, right? So maybe they'll be a little late today. We'll get a couple more scoops. Now, there's nothing like the sense of accomplishment when we come up here. And you know what? Every time we come up here, yeah, there's a whole lot more to do, but we're getting things done. And that was the best investment of the year. So all of you who have watched me over the years, remember the PSGF by hand, that whole thing. Of course, that was only 6 by 12 or 6 by 13 by 5. Yeah, priceless, everybody. So we made a mess, but we made a lot of progress. From the pond to the path leading to the pond, and the cabin and the bathhouse kind of just dug out a little bit, so we have a little bit of foundational look at what's to come. And now, of course, Toby's trying to fill up the area by the shed so that can go up to its foundation, and we'll get the grade board covered and get that thing so it's protected from critters, protected from anybody trying to break in, and just have it flowing away from the shed, not into the shed if there's any water issues. We got a lot to do, but man, this feels so good. Little side-to-side action on the bucket to smooth out your path. Look at that. Now we can have the four-wheeler come over here and not go in all the divots and everything. Thanks, Toby. 5:30 on Monday afternoon, and we are done. They just picked up the big rig, and Toby and I are gonna go get some dinner. What an incredible day. I mentioned this earlier. Anytime there's progress up here, I mean, I'm giddy like a little kid, as you all can tell. We got the back cabin foundation kind of roughly dug out. Tobe smoothed it all out. We got the 16 by 16 bathhouse right here kind of dug out a little bit, so there's no more fern bushes. You can kind of see where it's gonna be. So we were in here a lot, and then we went all the way up and down to the shed to take care of that beast. So we put probably a couple of dozen of trailer fulls of dirt inside the shed, and then probably a dozen to 2 dozen scoops of soil on the outside. I can actually walk into the door now, the service door, without any big bumps, bruises, and tripping over weird soil. So another weekend success. Can't thank Toby enough. He's behind the camera right now. He did most of the work with the heavy lifting on that big machine because he loved it so much. Can't wait to get up here again, as always. And I hope you all can't wait to get up here someday, because it will happen. It will happen sooner than we think. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.